everybody. We're back today with another edition of Howie's Hometown Heroes. We're here in Nutley, New Jersey. Did you ever hear of Nutley? What a crazy name for a town, right? But anyway, we're here with Andrea Cataneo. She's an attorney, a very special kind of attorney, and we're going to find out a little more about that. But before we get into that stuff, Nutley. Now, tell us about the movie and Nutley. Tell us a little about Andrea.
It's such a sweet town. So it's not only 9 miles from Midtown in Essex County, but it's got a rich history. Annie Oakley is from Nutley.
Annie, the Wild West Annie Oakley.
Yes. Our post office has a mural of Annie Oakley.
Ooh.
And there's a pub at the edge of Nutley before you get onto the Parkway called Oakley's. Also, Martha Stewart was from here. And one other fun fact, the woman who wrote the story, It's a Wonderful Life, a lot of people don't know it was a woman.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Bedford Falls, that adorable town on the town of Nutley.
Oh,
and Ruth
awesome.
Bedford, who just died at age 102, her husband was a judge. So we believe that there was sort of a loose maybe connection to that family when that fictitious town was named. So it's a very sweet town.
Very nice.
And I'm happy to be here.
Well, that's awesome. Well, let's find out a little more about Andrea now. So she tells me the craziest thing for me, I mean, that makes me, it sounds almost impossible to me, going to law school as a single mom. It's tough enough to go to law school when you're single, period, right? But have 2 small kids, to me, that's an amazing thing. But she's also created a bunch of other things. She's called the Master Manifester. Think about what that means. We're creating all something. She created an incredible law practice that's been going on for a long time. She's done other stuff before that. So tell us, thanks for being here, Andrea. I really appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah. And now I'm going to weasel my way in a little bit. She says that she and her husband, Dan, have all these spontaneous parties going on. I have never been to one of her parties. Now, I don't live around the corner from there either, but
and it's been COVID season for a while.
All right.
We'll things are finally coming out.
Yeah.
But we've definitely been known to invite friends over and business prospects and clients. If a client is in town and they're staying in the city, or if they're staying in New Jersey and they're flying into Newark, I insist that they come and have dinner with us.
There you go.
I think it's great. The nicest thing to be able to break bread with a client.
Yep.
And to cook for them, I think is just a nice way to bond. And
absolutely,
I'm lucky that my husband enjoys that too.
Yeah, that's great. My mother used to always say, it doesn't matter how many we're cooking for, there's always room for one more, and we'll just throw another plate on and we'll do.
You don't look Italian.
Jewish though. There you go. Right. There you go.
So,
Same thing.
My mother's mother is a Ukrainian Jew.
Same
Manya
thing.
Kutsin. Manya Kutsin married a Sicilian. So yeah, definitely that welcome. And what took you so long?
Yeah.
My parents were always, somebody walked in, they acted like they were expecting you. It's a nice way to be.
It really is. It really is. They put you out there. Not that it shows vulnerability, but it shows like a welcoming kind of thing.
Yes.
You want to bring people in. Exactly right.
Yes,
exactly right.
I enjoy
So
that.
tell us, so now you're, big shot lawyer now, just so you know, but also, and I say that in a loving way, of course, but the point is, what did you do before law school? Like, what drove you from whatever you were doing? What did you do and decide, law school is the same thing to do?
So good question. And thank you for asking. I was actually a little bit older than the traditional age law student. I had a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, which you had mentioned earlier that I had young kids. I was in sales. I had an associate's degree in communications. I sold electrographic paper to architects and engineers for Crown Zellerbach, an old paper company based in Oregon, although I worked in New Jersey. I sold business databases to companies for lead generation purposes. I had a team of telemarketers working for me. And I was always embarrassed when we'd be going around the room when new clients came in talking about where we went to college, because I only had an associate's degree and I felt kind of like a loser, which was silly of me, but I did. I legitimately felt like, please don't ask me. And, I came from, a family of well-educated people. I just was, distracted during those years. And I decided when I had baby Jessica that I wanted to figure out a way. I knew I was smart. I wanted to figure out a way to have a profession where I could be a problem solver and where I could have flexibility
Mm.
and autonomy, make decent money, and be home as much as possible and be a good mother. And anyone that I spoke with during my journey thought I was a little kooky, thinking that I could practice law from home. Um, and I often say I invented working from home as a
There you
lawyer
go.
because I did it. I did it before it was a thing. And my practice area, which easily, within a year and a half of practice, segued into corporate and securities law, helping
Mm.
companies raise capital, right? Offering documents, follow the regulatory limited rules and disclosure, going public, reverse mergers, having a company, a private company merge into a public shell. These are things I learned about from really a fabulous mentor that I had the good fortune
Oh,
to
that's
meet
great.
as a
Yeah.
young attorney.
Yeah.
And most of these things I'm describing, you could do from home. You could do it off hours. You could do, and this was way before Zoom. So, funnily enough, gosh, that word just doesn't flow off the tongue, but strangely enough, there were clients sometimes that I would have for a few years that I'd meet in person at an event and it would be, wow, I would picture them completely differently.
Oh,
Even back then, like we're talking about 99, 2000, 2001, this was a time period where even in like a PowerPoint presentation, you might not see pictures of everyone. You might not see a website that
that
had
is
all of that information. So it was really a different
interesting.
era,
Yeah, for sure.
you
And not
know,
that
but
long ago, and not that long ago,
I know.
really, in the scheme of things, right? Right.
Right,
So
right.
very
So
cool.
yeah, it was definitely a practice area that worked well for me. But my decision really had to do with what can I do that I think is going to help earn a decent living so I could be a good balanced person.
There you
And
go.
I figured it out. I
You
was
figured it out.
focused on
That
it
is
and it
impressive.
worked.
Yeah, that's part of being that master manifester, right?
Yep.
It's unbelievable because you always think the I don't want to say this. I guess the stereotype attorney is work, 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 and all kinds of stuff, and never be home and all kind. But you managed to put it all together. I think that's a, a, a great testament to how dedicated and forward thinking you are to just make
Thank
stuff happen to
you.
make it fit for you, and that's really cool.
Thank you. And no one can really do everything themselves. I had a point where I just could never go on vacation. I was busy after a few
Mhm,
years
mhm,
and it was not this idyllic picture that I had in my brain. And
mm.
I was having a conversation with an attorney who was working on the opposite side of a transaction. We had gotten to know each other. And I tell this story a lot because it's so near and dear to me. Richard said to me, "You don't sound like your bubbly self today, Andrea. What is going on?" And I shared with him that I didn't think I could go on vacation with my family. I said,
Oh,
"We're going on a cruise. We're supposed to go to this Panama Canal cruise. I can't be away for 10 days. I can't. I have two queues coming up. I have this company making an acquisition. I have this emergency. I have a secretary who's sort of a paralegal. I can't go." And he did something that was incredibly generous and sweet. And he said, "You need to go on vacation. You work so hard. I see the quality of your work. I know some of your clients. I'll babysit your clients for you. I won't steal them, I promise. But I'll babysit them. I can be, give them my number. Let's have a phone conversation over the next couple of days. You need to go on this vacation." It was the kindest thing. So
wow.
I was able to go on this trip knowing I was going to have 2 or 3 days at sea with it was too early for Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah, for sure.
A long time ago. It was like 2002, 2003. So when I came back, I realized I could really benefit from plugging into someone's platform, someone's infrastructure.
Mhm.
And I went to visit them. I really liked this. It was all guys. This was 20 lawyers, all guys. Pathetic for them. But I realized I was kind of marketable. And it was at that point that I interviewed with a few other firms, felt pretty good that, wow, but I plugged into Richard's firm. And I came in as a partner. I brought in
Oh,
my
okay.
business. I was there for 14 years.
Wow,
And
awesome.
they have grown to have more women partners, but we were quite busy, a very busy deal shop. I tell people there were at least 3 separate league tables, we call them, that would track the number of IPOs and going public transactions and financings and registration statements any given quarter. And they tracked the law firms doing the most deals and the most money, the placement agents and the investment bankers also doing the most deals and the highest dollar deals. So you could do a search on a variety of things. For 13 consecutive years, the firm I was with was #1 in the whole country as issuers council, the company council, in terms of number of deals. So our deals could be anywhere from 100,000 to 20 million. They weren't the biggest deals, but we did more of them. We were filing a registration statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission every single day. So we were busy for a little firm. So that is where, the deal experience, the training of associates, all of that, came in, and we were recognized, obviously.
I bet.
But that was not the best environment for, me to really grow. A lot of the attorneys operated in silos, and Richard and I, the attorney who I had come to join, and we were philosophically similar. We wanted to do more collaboration. So he left the firm he founded, and we joined a much bigger firm where I spent 4 years, an AmLaw 50 firm. That means one of the top firms in the country, 20 offices, 2,000 lawyers. I got a lot out of it, but the bureaucracy and the level of committees, and there were just a lot of things that didn't really suit me, as well as an entrepreneurial firm that is comfortable with alternative billing, that is comfortable with doing an IPO and taking part of the fee in equity. These are things that I enjoy. I enjoy helping entrepreneurs. We didn't talk much about that, but that's really what I enjoy doing, helping an established company get to that next level, get that financing. I sit on the board of the National Investment Banking Association, NEBA, 8,000 active members, bankers, brokers, family offices, high net worths. I try to be a matchmaker when I
exactly.
I like to match my clients with funding sources that are not going to hurt them, that are going to be of service and help them get them where they want to go without having the company give up too much in equity.
So I was going to say, tell us a success story that you with a young entrepreneur or somebody that you,
I've had some interesting clients that I've had for a long time. I'll tell you a couple quick ones. There's a technology company that I represent that is a smart card that has a biometric thumb sensor that activates a chip. You put that into a reader. She holds several patents on this technology, and it's got a tissue paper thin motherboard in the middle of this, what looks like a regular credit card. I've represented this company for 10 years. They've probably raised up to almost $40 million from the beginning on R&D, and they're really about to launch. They've been public for a while, but I'm going to get them listed on NASDAQ. I have no doubt that in the next 6 months, we're going to go there. And, that's just the success there is the longevity, the relationship, helping her build a board, helping her through all kinds of small financings, introducing her to funding sources, and making sure that the company is compliant with the regulators. Another sort of interesting success story, aside from building teams and introducing my clients to good funding sources, I had a client that came to me after having been ousted from his board of directors because they were not interested in doing an acquisition that he was really in favor of, and had decided that he made the decision to agree to leave too soon and was having seller's remorse, felt terrible. This was a week after he was asked to resign. And I got him back in the company as CEO through a process. He had been a political writer in the past. He thought he could amass, a lot of shareholder support since they loved him. They loved this guy, brought the company public years before. He was relatively young, under 30 years old. But I'll never forget the day that, from his political background, he said, "Oh, I think I could get all of these shareholders to sign a petition." And I had to explain to him that, as a corporation, that's not how it works. But if he has that level of shareholder support, maybe we could figure out a good way to help him regain control. And sure enough, his bylaws permitted him to hold a special meeting, and step, we got him, back on track. new board of directors came in. He settled with the old board. He was CEO. And this company that's recently transitioned just got listed on NASDAQ.
Oh, there you
So,
go. Very nice.
ringing the bell is going to be something we do in the month of August. And
Oh, very good. How do you, so are you going to be up there ringing the bell with them?
of course.
All right. There you
Of
go.
course. Of
How-
course. That's
how-
just a highlight of what I do. If I could be there through the process, it's fun.
I was going to say, how do you feel when that sort of stuff happens? I mean, it's not your company, but you made it happen. How do you feel
I
when
have
you
to
do that?
correct you. It's all about the team. Here's something that I love about what I do. If there's a transaction, like I have 2 IPOs that are in the works right now, even in this awful market, we have working group calls every week. And if I'm the issuers counsel, if I'm representing the company, I'm often leading the call. The investment banker will have maybe an agenda, but I will be leading the call in terms of what's getting done and who's doing what. And the team is this group of people that are making a commitment to follow a timeline. Often it's a timeline that I generate, so I'm like the project manager.
There you go.
Or the quarterback.
The master manifester.
Yeah, but having the team that I've worked with before, sometimes I'm asked to recommend underwriters counsel, or I'm asked to recommend the auditor, or asked to recommend an IR firm, or someone else who's going to be a key player in the mix. Most of those that I just mentioned would be on this working group call, and it would be a once a week thing. It's about the team. Okay. So yes, I love to be at the helm. It's extremely gratifying, but I give credit to these amazing people that I work with, that I'm lucky enough to have on my team. I have fabulous associates and partners. It's not always just me. I have phenomenal people in my firm that I know I can rely on to sometimes work around the clock. I've got people, thankfully, in California that are 3 hours behind. So when I'm ready to call it a day, something can be continually worked on, and we can get things done timely.
And there's but there's your leadership and the manifesting. It's coming from you, right? I mean, it's not you. Just so you know,
I usually dress up
what's
more
what
than
I
this.
hear.
So
yeah,
I usually dress up way more than this when I'm being interviewed. But it's Friday. It's Fun Friday.
There you go. Fun Friday. Exactly. So where do you see yourself going in the next 3, 5, 10 years? We got grandchildren. We got all kind of stuff happening. We got more ships to go through the Panama Canal. I mean, we're like, where are we going? What are we doing?
Well, I want to expand my personal platform for what I do. I want to have either a podcast and this is something I'm planning very soon, a mechanism, in addition to the conferences that I attend, to really put together companies a few at a time with a team of service providers and investors that I think might be a good fit. And it might not just be for one company. I might do these with 2 or 3 at a time, where we can have a lovely shared experience that I can sort of MC. I really enjoy putting teams together and matching funding sources with my clients. And it's the value I'm bringing in addition to doing the legal work. I know people that have successfully helped companies. I know sources that might be good in some situations, but not others. My goal, for the most part, well, in all respects, is to protect my client. But for the most part, my clients are the companies. Yeah. So, I occasionally represent the investors or the investment bankers, but it's usually the company. So my goal is really to protect them and make sure that, even though I have these friends in the world that are check writers, that they're getting well served, that they're not getting themselves in a position where they can get really taken advantage of unnecessarily, which sometimes investors and lenders do because they need protection, or they are coming in at an early stage and they think that that's what they're entitled to. So I'm there to really make sure that things are done in a way that are market, not outside of market norms, and the best possible terms for my clients.
There you go. Well, that sounds great. So we got more stuff to work on and more companies to help, and more people to save the world.
Empowering women.
There you go.
More women. I want to see more women CEOs that I can help. I'd love to see more women investment bankers. Any way that I can help. If there are any women who listen to this who are entrepreneurs and building companies, I'd love to get involved. And it's generally the company that's established enough to have proved its concept, generating revenues. That's really where I can be of the most service.
Okay, good. Very good. Awesome. Awesome. So we'll have to talk a little bit more about some of these women you're looking for and how we can bring them on the show too. And we'll put a
One
whole
final
bunch of-
thing,
Oh,
I
good,
didn't
good.
mention MSK, Mitchell, Silberberg and Nuck. That
Oh,
is
that's-
a fabulous firm that I have been part of for the last few years. My partner, Nimish Patel, I know for 22 years, and we're in Los Angeles and Century City, in New York and Manhattan. You know, I'm on Madison Ave between 49th and 50th, and we're also in DC.
Cool.
And my capital markets team is incredible. We also have a big entertainment practice group, real estate, tax, IP, litigation, labor and employment. It's a very, if I already said
A
that,
lot of stuff.
repeat, but it's a very, we can help our clients do a lot of things, but fabulous firm, entrepreneurial, and I'm very fortunate to call myself
Yes.
at home and a partner, and I'm here to help. So
There you go.
feel free to reach
Terrific,
out.
terrific, terrific. Very good. Well, this was great. This is great, Angie. I really appreciate you being here. And for you out there, if there's someone you know who we think we should bring on the show, who's outgoing, professional, doing great things in their community, kind of, let me know and we'll get them on the show too. So just
Well,
remember, just remember that whether it's your family or your business or your community, it's money. And Andrea does a lot of it, money that makes the gears turn and keep going. So make sure your money is working for you the most optimal way it can. Thanks for being here, Andrea.
Great to
See you
see you.
soon.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.